Nepal's air tragedy kills 8 Trichy builders. Amma asks Trichy MP Kumar to accompany bereaved families to Kathmandu. Ahead of its nominee list announcement, CPI in final seat-sharing talks with ruling party AIADMK. Will the civic polls bring change to the plight of Mogaper residents? Residents hope for better infrastructure and development. Chennai Airport authorities detain a woman in possession of a bullet. The 32-year-old lady is being interrogated. Crores worth of material goes up in flames at a chemical factory in Cholinganallur. No casualties reported. Good evening. Welcome to NDTV Hindu. I'm Natasha Swami, bringing you the latest on the Nepal air tragedy. Now, before we bring you that story, a look at the national headlines. As the 2G row intensifies, Pranab Mukherjee meets the Prime Minister Manmohan Singh in New York. Narendra Modi accuses the centre of destabilizing his government through the governor at his Maha Rally, the Gujarat Chief Minister's call. A fresh security alert for the Mumbai International Airport after warnings of a 9/11-like incident, the fourth alert this month. Amid signs of strained US-Pak ties, Prime Minister Gilani asked the Foreign Minister to return from the United States. And a tigress is lynched to death by a mob of over 4,000 people who later take out a victory procession carrying the tigress's carcass. Well, in a tragic story from Nepal, 8 people from Tamil Nadu died in a plane crash while visiting Nepal in a 9-member group. The group had actually flown to Delhi first for a business conference. Only 1 member survived this crash. Among the 10 Indians on board the plane belonging to Buddha Air are 8 victims from the Trichy chapter of Builders Association of India. Besides the 10 Indians on board the aircraft, there were 6 other tourists and 3 crew members. The tourists had gone to view Mount Everest and other peaks and were returning to the Kathmandu airport when it lost contact with ATC. The bereaved families are said to be travelling to the capital tomorrow morning, to Kathmandu tomorrow morning to identify the bodies.
जीवितलाई चाहिँ हामीले पहिले नै निकालेर माथि लगिसकेका थियौं माथि चाहिँ राखिसकेका थियौं अनि त्यहाँबाट चाहिँ स्ट्रेचर मगाएर चाहिँ उ चाहिँ पेटहरु दुखिरहेको खुट्टा भाँचिएको अवस्थामा थियो अनि मुखहरु पनि बिग्रिरहेको थियो गाह्रो भइरहेको भने भएर अनि प्रहरीदारहरुसँग सल्लाह गरेर अब यसलाई चाहिँ उपचारको लागि पठाइदिउँ नकुरौं हाम्रो गाडी भनेर चाहिँ उलाई स्ट्रेचरमै हामीले बोकाएर पठायौं
பேர் வந்து மிஸ்டர் மருதாச்சலம் மீனாட்சி சுந்தரம் ஏகே கிருஷ்ணன் தியாகராஜன் தனசேகரன் கட்டூர் மகாலிங்கம் கனகசபேசன் அப்புறம் எங்க பிரசிடென்ட் மணிமாறன் கரெக்டான நியூஸ் வந்து இன்னும் கன்ஃபார்ம் பண்ண முடியல அதனால எங்களுக்கு வந்து நாங்க கேக்குறது வந்து இது சீக்கிரமா கன்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணனும் ப்ளஸ் இன் கேஸ் அது மாதிரி எதுவும் ஒரு ஆக்சிடென்ட் ஆயிருந்தது அப்படினா நம்மளுடைய தமிழ்நாடு கவர்மெண்ட் வந்து அதுக்காக உடனே ஆக்ஷன் எடுத்து அங்க இருந்து எங்களுக்கு வந்து இந்த மாதிரி என்னவோ அதுக்கான அரேஞ்ச்மெண்ட்ஸ் எங்களுக்கு பண்ணி கொடுக்கணும் அப்படிங்கிறது.
The Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Jayalalitha, had made a statement earlier condoling the bereaved families in this tragic incident. She said, and I quote, "I'm shocked to hear many who died in Nepal plane crash are from Tamil Nadu. My condolences to all the bereaved families," unquote. Also, Jayalalitha has now asked the Trichy Member of Parliament Kumar to accompany families of the victims to Kathmandu for identification of the bodies. The state's Communist Party of India are expected to hold their final round of talks with the AIADMK's local body poll committee today. The left party is also expected to release their final list of candidates after the consultations today. The party had held an urgent state executive meeting yesterday to discuss their further course of action concerning the local body polls. The party was earlier upset with the AIADMK because of their inflexible attitude towards the seat-sharing stocks and the AIADMK's decisions to announce its list of candidates without informing or consulting with their alliance partners. Well, the Tamil Nadu State Election Commission has issued instructions to all returning officers and assistant returning officers to allot symbols. Now, the candidates of registered unrecognized political parties and independent candidates have been asked to mention the names of any 3 free symbols in the order of preference in the nomination form. The returning officers and assistant returning officers should not refuse to receive the nomination if any of the symbols mentioned in the nomination paper by the candidate is not finding place in the list of free symbols prescribed by the Commission. Even if the name of the symbol is not mentioned in the nomination paper, the returning officer or assistant returning officer is bound to receive the nominations and make scrutiny as per the rules. Well, in the upcoming local body polls, issues like sewage or water waste and bad roads top the list of problems of Chennaites. But for residents whose municipalities have just merged with the Chennai Corporation, the woes are endless. Our reporter Krishnamurthy walked through the streets of Ambattur municipality to find out how residents have been putting up with a host of problems. Roads dug up and left open, drains and garbage strewn all around. These images mark the city's own Mogappair area, which recently came under the purview of the Chennai Corporation. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. If schools are considered temples of learning, then this hardly counts as one. Liquor bottles and garbage greet us at the entrance of this 40-year-old Anganwadi school. In fact, the school is in such a dilapidated state that the entire roof caved in on Saturday. It was a lucky escape for students as it was a weekend.
திடீர்னு என்னாச்சுன்னா ஒரு நாள் சனிக்கிழமை மழை வந்து மறுநாள் என்னன்னா 10 மணி அளவில் ஸ்கூல் இருந்திருந்ததுன்னா அன்றைக்கி வந்து பசங்கள்லாம் அதுலேயே இருந்துருப்பாங்க. அந்த டைமில் வந்து பார்த்திங்கன்னா மேலேருந்து ஷீட் உடஞ்சி பில்டிங் அப்படியே உடஞ்சி இதுவாயிடுச்சு. அன்றைக்கி நல்ல காலம் சனிக்கிழமையாக இருந்ததுனால ஸ்கூல் லீவு, அதனால பசங்க எல்லாருமே தப்பிச்சாங்க.
Many residential areas in Mogappair aren't safe either. This street, for example, also has a Tasmac shop right at the entrance. The residents allege that a constant presence of consumers at the shop makes it unsafe, especially for women who commute on the road even in broad daylight.
6 மணி ஆயிடுச்சுன்னு வச்சுங்களேன், குடிச்சிட்டு ரோட்டில் சண்டை போடுறாங்க, அது பண்ணுறாங்க, நடக்க முடியாது. நம்ம பைக்கில் போகிறப்பட்டு காரில் போகிற ஆறு நிமிஷம் நகர மாட்டுறாங்க. என்ன ஆறு நடிக்கிறேன் இப்படின்னு இல்லை நின்றுட்டு இருக்கேன்ல அப்படின்னு பேசுகிறாங்க. சுத்தமாக போக முடியாது ரோட்டில், அந்த மாதிரி பிரச்சனையாக இருக்குது.
And finally, this barren piece of land full of potholes and wild bushes is actually the Mogappair bus stop. With no shelter over their heads, people face the heat, quite literally.
நாங்கள் இங்கே 6 வருஷமா 7 வருஷம் வரோம். பஸ் ஸ்டாண்டில் வந்து பயணிகளுக்கு போதுமான பாதுகாப்பு இல்லை முதல்ல. அப்புறம் ஷெல்டரில் தங்கறதுக்கு வெயிலுக்கோ மழைக்கோ வந்து ஷெல்டரில் வந்து சரியான நிழல் கூட சரியான நிழல் கூட இல்லை. பஸ் ஸ்டாண்டில் வந்து அங்கங்கே ஒரே பள்ளம் மேடு, ஒரு கை குழந்தை அழைச்சிட்டு இங்கே வெளியூருக்கு கரெக்டாக இன்டயத்துக்கு கரெக்டாக போக முடியும்.
The Ambattur municipality says, though they are aware of these issues, their hands are tied due to a financial crunch.
For several years, residents of Mogappair have been battling civic issues with hardly any solutions from the Ambattur municipality. Their only hope is the upcoming local body polls, when this municipality becomes a part of the expanded Chennai Corporation limits. With camera person Anand, this is Krishnamurthy for NDTV Hindu.
Well, in news from the city of Chennai, this morning saw a major fire that broke out in a private chemical factory located in Sholinganallur. While the cause of the fire is suspected to be a short circuit, investigations are still on. No casualties reported from the fire accident so far. However, the major loss is with regards to material goods in the factory. Damages are pegged to go into crores of rupees. However, further investigation reports are still awaited.
Today being a Sunday, it was not working, and at about 8:30 in the morning we got a call that there was a fire in one of the labs. And with the trained people, of course on a Sunday we have only skeleton staff, but with the firefighting facilities we have, which is a fire hydrant and foam and things like that, they were able to contain that. But one peculiar thing was that there was a lot of smoke. They saw smoke, and typically when there is smoke, visibility is affected. And so they had to go inside only step by step, and that is what took time to contain this whole thing itself. Fortunately, there are no bulk storages of chemicals because it's a research lab, and also being a Sunday, there was no person inside, so people didn't get affected.
A 32-year-old Hyderabad-bound woman was detained at the airport here in Chennai after she was found with a .22 bullet in her possession. According to airport sources, Dawat was detained after officials found the bullet in her purse during the security checking. According to the sources, she was handed over to the airport police for interrogation. Coming up on the other side of this short break, it has been a week since the Himalayan earthquake, and believe it or not, rescue operations are still on. The details on the other side.